The locker door
Don't let
slammed
them
shut
catch
so
me.
hard the metal
Stop
rang down the
running!
corridor.
No, please! You
Don't
can't
run.
escape!
But Rowan Hale was already
Don't let them
running.
catch me.
Footsteps
Stop
thundered
running!
behind
No,
him,
please! You can't
fast,
escape!
heavy, alpha strides. His pulse spiked, lungs burning as he cut down the east wing staircase of Obsidian Crest Academy. He could smell it now. Not his own scent. He kept that buried under layers of suppressants, but theirs. Sharp. Hunting. Stop! Someone barked. Rowan didn't look back. If they caught him, if they cornered him in an empty hallway, the truth would spill into the air before he could swallow it down. An unregistered Omega at Obsidian Crest was a liability. Target. He hit the ground floor and nearly collided with a wall of black uniform. Strong hands caught his shoulders. He froze. The hallway went silent. Careful! A calm voice said above him. Rowan looked up slowly and wished he hadn't. Kieran Drax, the most feared alpha in the academy, heir to the Drax Dominion, president of the student council, shadow ruler of everything that moved within these walls. His dark eyes held Rowan in place. The alphas chasing him stopped several feet away. Kieran, one of them said stiffly. We were just. I know what you were doing, Kieran interrupted softly. That softness was more terrifying than a shout. Rowan tried to step back. Kieran's grip tightened just slightly. Why were you running? Kieran asked, gaze never leaving Rowan's face. I wasn't. A lie. Terrible one. The air shifted. Kieran leaned closer, and then Rowan felt it. A slow inhale. Not of the hallway. Of him. Rowan's stomach dropped. There it was, that subtle change in Kieran's expression. Recognition. Confirmation. You're trembling, Kieran murmured. The alphas behind him exchanged glances. What's going on? One demanded. Kieran didn't answer them. He was still looking at Rowan. And then he said it. Leave. They hesitated. Now. The command carried weight. Authority. They left. Just like that. The corridor emptied until it was only the two of them. Rowan swallowed. You're hurting me. Kieran released him immediately. But he didn't step away. You should be more careful, Kieran said quietly. Rowan forced himself to breathe evenly. About what? Kieran tilted his head slightly. About hiding. The word struck like a blade. Rowan laughed weakly. I don't know what you're talking about. Kieran stepped closer. You think suppressants erase instinct? He asked. You think you can mask what you are forever? Rowan's chest tightened. I don't. You're an Omega. The hallway felt smaller. Louder. Hotter. Rowan's vision flickered. No. He whispered automatically. Kieran's eyes darkened. Unregistered, he added. Which means unprotected. Silence stretched between them. How long have you known? Rowan asked, voice barely audible. 2 years. The confession hit harder than the accusation. 2 years. Rowan echoed. You worked too hard to disappear, Kieran said. I noticed. Why didn't you say anything? Kieran studied him for a long moment. Because saying something would have put you in danger. Rowan let out a shaky breath. And this doesn't? Not if you're with me. There it was. The trap disguised as safety. I don't need protection. Kieran's jaw tightened. You were just running from 3 alphas who smelled something off and decided to chase you for sport. Rowan flinched. You can't keep hiding, Kieran continued. The Nitrov family has informants here. If they confirm what you are, they won't. They will. The certainty in his tone was absolute. What do you want? Rowan asked finally. Kieran didn't hesitate. You're moving into my suite. Rowan stared at him. That's not funny. I'm not joking.
No.
It's already arranged. What? Rowan's voice cracked. You can't just. I can. The arrogance of it should have infuriated him. Instead, Fear coiled in his stomach. Why? Rowan demanded. Because if anyone comes for you, Kieran said evenly, they'll have to go through me. Rowan searched his face for mockery. There was none. Only resolve. And if I refuse? Kieran's expression didn't change. You won't. That night, Rowan stood inside the private penthouse suite at the top of Obsidian Crest's central tower. One entrance. Biometric lock. Armed security outside. And one bed. You've got to be kidding, Rowan muttered. Kieran closed the door behind them. It's safer. For who? For you. Rowan turned. You don't get to decide that. Kieran's eyes sharpened. I already did. The tension in the room thickened. I've survived on my own, Rowan said. I don't need to belong to you. Kieran crossed the space between them in 3 steps. You don't belong to me, he said quietly. The air stilled. You're under my protection. That sounds the same. It isn't. Rowan laughed bitterly. And what happens when your rivals decide I'm leverage? They won't. You can't promise that. I can. The confidence in his voice was terrifying. Rowan's throat felt tight. Why me? A beat passed. Kieran's gaze softened just barely. Because you were shaking in a hallway pretending you weren't afraid. Rowan looked away. You don't have to pretend in here. That was worse. Sleep, Kieran said finally. You look exhausted. I'm not sleeping in that bed. Yes, you are. No. You think I'm going to let you take the couch near the windows? Kieran's tone sharpened. If someone fires from across the city, Rowan's heart skipped. You're serious. Completely. He moved toward the bed and sat down. Rowan stood there for a long time. Then slowly, reluctantly, he crossed the room. He lay down at the very edge. A full foot of space between them. For 10 whole minutes, neither spoke. Then, you're still shaking, Kieran murmured. I'm not. The mattress shifted. An arm wrapped around Rowan's waist. Firm. Unyielding. Safe. Rowan sucked in a breath. Kieran. Sleep. His voice was low, close to Rowan's ear. You're safe. Rowan hated how much he believed him. If this tension has you hooked already, make sure you're subscribed because it only gets darker from here. Rowan didn't know when he fell asleep. Only that for the first time in years, he didn't dream about being chased. He woke to warmth and the unmistakable feeling of being held. He tried to move. The hold tightened. Don't, Kieran said softly. Why? Because the Nitrov scouts were seen near the south gate this morning. Rowan's stomach dropped. They know. They suspect. And you're sure this is about me? Kieran didn't answer immediately. That depends, he said finally. On what? On whether they realize you're unclaimed. The word lingered in the air. Heavy. Dangerous. What does that have to do with anything? Rowan asked. Everything. And that was when the first explosion shook the tower. Glass trembled. Alarms screamed. Kieran was on his feet instantly, pulling Rowan behind him. Stay down. What was that? A warning, Kieran said coldly. The war had just begun, and Rowan was at the center of it.